Okay, welcome back. So, in our last chapter, we talked about some really surprising benefits of fear, like increased energy, enhanced cognition, sharper awareness, even increases in motivation and drive and aggression so that we can play physically and assertively on the court. We also pointed out that you can only unlock these benefits if you're able to relax in the face of fear. That's easier said than done. We've all had experiences where there's so much adrenaline going through our system that it almost feels like relaxing is impossible in those moments. And so I want to give you a technique that will really help you do this on a deep level when you're struggling with fear the most. And I call this 3-level relaxation. So I gave this definition in the previous chapter, but I want to mention it again. And it's probably going to be mentioned multiple times through this talk so it sinks in. Fear is an emotion, which stands for energy in motion. In other words, emotional energy is designed to move. As long as the energy of fear is moving smoothly through our system, we're not clamping down and tightening up against it and resisting it. As long as it's moving smoothly, it's not a problem. And it's fueling us and supercharging us with, again, more energy, heightened cognition, so on and so forth. So 3-level relaxation, the entire purpose is to allow that energy to move smoothly and in an unobstructed way. And the first level of that is in our body, okay? So whenever we feel fear, the first thing you might notice is that the body contracts against it in an effort to not feel the fear, right? Because it's uncomfortable. And so this contraction might happen in your stomach. It might happen in your solar plexus and chest. It may even happen in your arms or neck. But there's always, and it's unique to everybody, we all have a different sort of somatic pattern that we follow. But notice the next time you feel fear or anxiety or nervousness, where does your body contract? And then simply relax. And there's a principle in deep game that we call the emotional mirror, which basically says that our emotions are always mirrored in our body. And so if you think of somebody that's in a really panicked state, right? If they're experiencing extreme fear, their front side of their body is contracted, they're tight. Maybe they're even, in really extreme cases, they might be curled up in a ball, like rocking back and forth. And the principle says that every emotion has its physical corollary. So it might not be as extreme as you curling up in a ball, rocking back and forth, but it may be as simple as like the front side of your body just gets tight. So the first step to resolving that is just opening up and relaxing the body. In deep game, we call this getting big. Assume a strong, powerful posture, and your emotions will then follow. So don't try to think your way out of that feeling. Just open up and relax the body so that the energy can move smoothly. That's step 1, body. Step 2 is breath. So a lot of the time, extreme fear or even just slight fear and nervousness is accompanied by this like short, choppy, restricted breathing, or even holding our breath in certain cases. What this causes is a buildup of carbon dioxide in our system, which actually scientists have shown increases the stress response. More carbon dioxide in our system as a result of not fully exhaling and expelling the carbon dioxide causes our nervous system to go into this stress response that amplifies the fear and makes it even worse. So the antidote to that is to regulate, soften, deepen, and allow our breath to become more full. So we're getting full inhales, full exhales, full inhales, full exhales. And we want this to be more or less relaxed. If you think back to that example we gave in the previous chapter of LeBron in 2011, when he didn't play up to his potential or even close to it in the finals against Dallas, and we saw him kind of fall short of his like full power as a player in that series, the very next year, when the game was on the line against the Boston Celtics in this huge, I believe it was in Game 6, and LeBron looks like a different player this year from the previous season. He's stepping up and he's delivering in big moments. In Game 6, there's this classic clip that shows LeBron on the bench doing eyes closed, full inhale through the nose, full exhale out the mouth. We actually shared this in our masterclass, but LeBron is doing the exact technique we're talking about right now. He's regulating the fear that he's feeling through his breath. And so the rule here, and I'll give you some patterns that you can put your breath in a moment, but what I want to point out is that Step number 1, we relax and open up the body. This actually allows the breath to become more full and more relaxed. And then when we breathe in, full, deep, relax through the nose, out through the mouth, we immediately begin to relax the nervous system. And if you want to try this right now so that you can get some like physical experience of it, I think that would help you. But the rule is the more you need to relax, in other words, the less you're able to relax and the more you need to, the longer and more relaxed the exhale should be. So it might just look like notice how that exhale was longer than the inhale. I can feel my nervous system immediately soften and regulate. So try that out now. And as you're doing that, the next step, and I'll point out in a moment how all these steps just happen simultaneously at once, but the next step is in the mind. The rule is feel the fear without thinking about it. I know that's easier said than done, but when we feel fear as a physical sensation of energy moving through our body, you may realize that fear without thoughts about the fear is actually just sensation. It's nothing more. When we tie ourselves up in fear and it begins to hurt our performance is when we get trapped in our thoughts about the fear and we try to think our way out of that trap that we've created with our thoughts. Of course, that never works. And we all know this, especially those who have been doing this deep game work for any length of time. So the rule is just simply feel the fear as energy moving through our nervous system. And as I just said, I think the best way that you can approach this quote unquote technique is less looking at it as a technique that you follow step by step by step, and more like a posture that you assume. And in the Taoist tradition, we speak about energetic postures, which means it's not just a physical posture that you're assuming, it's a mental, psychological, emotional posture. So on all levels, you're assuming this powerful posture in the face of fear. You're going from this kind of contracted, restricted, nervous posture to a strong, open, even courageous posture. You can imagine yourself as a visualization going from the hunted, the prey that's trying to get away from the fear, to the hunter who's relaxing and stepping up in the face of fear. So think of it as a posture that happens all at once. I know we went through those 3 levels one by one, but really the body, breath, and mind happen all at the same time. So fear arises in your system. Immediately, you open up the body and get big at the same time as you relax and regulate the breathing, at the same time as you feel the fear as energy moving through your body. In doing this, you assume this strong posture. Once again, the hunter, not the hunted. Hey, it's Taylor. I hope you enjoyed this clip. And if you'd like to watch the full-length talk, we'll have the title and/or link for you in the description so that you can check it out there. And as always, if you'd like to go even deeper, the best place to do that is in our free masterclass over at deepgame.com, which I believe will be the most powerful hour of basketball learning of your life. I hope we see you there.